The road leading out of Hollow Ridge looked dead even in the daylight, narrow, cracked, swallowed by overgrown weeds that reached like fingers toward passing tires. Mia Carter kept her eyes on the map glowing on her phone, trying to ignore the uneasy twist settling in her stomach. She wasn't usually this paranoid, but something about that stretch of land felt wrong. Like it had been quietly breathing for years, waiting for someone to disturb it. "Relax, Mia," her friend Lucas said from the passenger seat. "It's just an abandoned church. People explore this stuff all the time." Urban explorers, not college students, one assignment away from flunking anthropology, Asha added from the back seat, her leg bouncing nervously. Mia forced a smile. "Exactly why we need the project photos. Old structures, forgotten towns, cultural decay, Professor Hanley will eat it up." But she still felt that twist. Like they were driving toward something ancient. Something hungry. The church came into view before she was ready for it. It stood alone on a patch of land that looked scorched, though nothing around it had burned in years. Its wooden walls sagged inward, swollen with rot. The windows were blackened, too dark, like they were covered from the inside. A crooked cross leaned sideways on the collapsing roof, as if even faith itself had fallen away. "Why does it look like it's staring at us?" Lucas murmured. Mia didn't answer. Because she felt the same thing. It felt aware. They stepped out of the car, and the air hit them, thick, dusty, unnaturally cold for late August. The kind of cold that whispered of grave soil and long-buried things. Asha shivered. "I don't like this place." "Let's get the photos and go," Mia said, more to herself than to them. The church's door was barely hanging from its hinges. Lucas pushed it open, and the wood groaned like something in pain. Inside, the air was stale, suffocating. Dust floated in lazy spirals through the shafts of pale sunlight slicing through cracks in the roof. The pews were overturned, clawed apart, shredded like some wild animal had been trapped inside. Or like something had broken out. Mia snapped pictures, her camera clicking sharply in the silence. But each flash of light exposed more disturbing details. Scratches on the walls, deep, desperate. Symbols carved into the wooden beams, primitive, violent spirals with jagged edges. Dark stains dried into the floorboards, too dark to be just dirt. "This place wasn't abandoned," Asha whispered. "It was destroyed." Lucas walked toward the altar, where a massive stone slab sat, cracked down the middle. Strange bones lay piled around it, twisted, broken, some disturbingly long. "What the hell kind of animal is that from?" he asked. But Mia didn't think it belonged to any animal. Something in her chest tightened painfully as she approached the altar. Her throat felt dry, itchy, as though the air itself was trying to crawl inside her. Something about this place felt wrong in a way she didn't have words for. Like the walls remembered screams. Her camera lens reflected something behind her. A movement. A shadow. She spun around. But nothing was there. "Let's just get out," Mia started. Then the sound came. A low, dragging inhale. The kind of inhale something makes when it wakes up after being asleep for far too long. Lucas froze. "Did you hear that?" They all heard it. That wet, rattling breath, like lungs filled with dust and hunger. It came from beneath the floor. Asha stumbled back. "Mia. We need to go. Now." But Mia's eyes locked on a rotted wooden panel near the altar, one that was rising upward. Slowly. Deliberately. As though something beneath it was pushing. Her heart slammed against her ribs. The stories her grandmother used to whisper, the warnings people in Hollow Ridge passed around like superstition. The terror never sleeps, it waits. "Mia." Lucas grabbed her arm. The board cracked. Splintered. Then something slid its hand up through the gap. Gray, mottled skin. Long, crooked claws. And a smell. A smell like old blood, rotted fabric, and death stored away for decades. The creeper. Mia's scream stuck in her throat as the hand curled around the edge of the floorboard, gripping with unnatural strength. Something ancient had awakened. And it had smelled them. They bolted for the door, stumbling over broken pews as the darkness behind them shifted, rose, breathed. The church wasn't abandoned. It had been a coffin. And they had just opened it. They didn't stop running until they burst back into the overgrown graveyard behind the church. Mia's lungs burned. Asha was sobbing. Lucas kept looking over his shoulder like any second something would lunge out of the doorway. But nothing followed. Not yet. The wind stirred the tall grass around the graves, whispering like voices murmuring under their breath. The sky had dimmed, even though sunset shouldn't have arrived for hours. Mia, what did we just wake up? Asha sobbed, clutching her chest. Mia couldn't answer. She didn't know. But she remembered that hand, gray skin stretched tight over bone, claws long enough to tear through flesh like paper. She remembered the breathing, the slow inhale of something savoring the scent of the living after decades of sleep. Something ancient. Something hungry. Lucas doubled over, hands on his knees. We need to get to the car. Now. They started toward the church parking area when the sound drifted through the air. A faint thump. Then another. Slow. Heavy. Wet. Footsteps. Inside the church. Mia froze so suddenly Lucas crashed into her back. The footsteps grew louder. And then. Silence. A silence so complete it felt like the world was holding its breath. Mia. Lucas whispered. She shook her head, eyes locked on the church's doorway. A shadow crossed inside, slow, deliberate, inhumanly tall. Then, a sound drifted out. A low hum. A sickening, gurgling melody. The creeper's song. Her bones went rigid. She'd heard the stories her grandmother used to hiss under her breath whenever the wind blew too cold. When it hums, it means it's chosen someone. Chosen them for what? No one ever said. No one ever survived to move. Lucas grabbed her wrist and dragged her. They sprinted across the gravel lot, their footsteps crunching so loud they seemed to echo for miles. Mia felt exposed, as if something was watching from every angle. As if something's eyes were crawling over her skin. But the car felt impossibly far away. Behind them, something stepped out of the church. Mia didn't look back. She couldn't. Her mind filled in enough. A silhouette tall enough to scrape the doorway. A shape that didn't move like a person. A presence that felt wrong. The humming grew louder. Asha screamed. Don't look at it. Mia yelled, voice cracking. They reached the car, practically throwing themselves inside. Mia fumbled with the keys, her hands shaking so violently the metal clinked uselessly. Lucas slammed the locks. Start it. Start it. I'm trying. The humming became an echoing growl now. Something dragged across the ground, claws. Wings. Mia didn't know, and she didn't want to. She turned the key again. The engine sputtered. Died. No, 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 no. She tried again. This time the engine coughed, roared. Something slammed onto the roof. The entire car dipped. Asha screamed so loud her voice cracked. Lucas grabbed her, pulling her head down as the roof creaked under shifting weight. Heavy. Predatory. Patient. A long, slow inhale seeped through the metal above them. The creeper was sniffing. Mia, Lucas whispered, voice trembling, floor it. Mia stomped the gas. The car jerked forward, tires squealing, but the weight on the roof didn't budge. It stayed hunched, clinging, pressing down so hard Mia felt the ceiling bow above her head. Something scraped across the metal, claws tracing lazy patterns, as though deciding who it wanted. The humming started again. Low. Delighted. Mia drove faster, swerving wildly through the gravel. And then. The weight lifted. Just. Gone. Mia didn't slow down. She punched the gas so hard her foot ached. The road blurred. The air felt too thin to breathe. None of them spoke. Finally, several miles away, she stopped at a gas station long abandoned, its lights dead, its windows cracked. Asha collapsed into sobs. Lucas slammed his fists against the dashboard, shaking. Mia stared forward, unable to blink. The steering wheel vibrated beneath her trembling hands. It wasn't trying to kill us, she whispered finally. Lucas looked at her, horrified. What are you talking about? It could have ripped the car open. It didn't. Her voice wavered. It was deciding. Asha choked on a sob. Deciding what? Mia looked out into the growing darkness. Who it wants. A cold wind blew through the broken gas station awning. And carried with it a sound. Barely audible. Faint. A humming. Sweet. Patient. And very, very close. The humming drifted across the empty gas station like a whisper through a tomb, soft, gentle, almost tender, yet carrying a threat so suffocating Mia felt her lungs tighten. Asha covered her ears, whimpering. Make it stop, oh my God, make it stop. Lucas scanned the darkness, shaking. It followed us? It shouldn't be possible. We drove miles. That thing can't move that fast. Mia swallowed hard. Yes. It could. Every legend said the same thing. The creeper didn't chase. It hunted. And when it marked someone, distance didn't matter. Mia pushed open the car door slowly, every muscle trembling. A cold wind swept across the abandoned parking lot, carrying dust and the metallic stench of rain that hadn't fallen yet. Mia, don't, Lucas hissed. Stay in the car. She stepped out anyway. Something in her chest felt wrong, tight, burning, like a hand was wrapped around her ribs, squeezing every few seconds. She pressed a shaky palm against her sternum. Why does my chest hurt? Why does it feel like something inside me knows what's coming? She forced herself to walk a few steps forward. The humming faded. A new sound slipped through the silence. A faint creak. Metal bending. Lucas's eyes widened as he peered through the windshield. Mia, behind the pumps. She turned. The old gas pumps, rusted, paint peeling, were shifting. Not from the wind. They swayed like something heavy brushed past them. Mia stepped back instinctively. A clawed foot appeared first. Long bone white. Then the other. The creeper stepped out from behind the pumps, unfolding its body into the open like a shadow peeling itself from the darkness. Its coat hung in tattered strips. Its wings twitched, folding tightly against its spine. Its face, if one could call it a face, was hidden beneath a hood of mottled skin and patchwork flesh stitched together. But its eyes glowed a dull, hungry red. And they were locked on Mia. She couldn't move. Her body froze, as if the air around her had thickened. The creeper tilted its head, sniffing. A long, wet inhale that rattled like something ancient waking deeper within its lungs. Then it took a step forward. Mia! Lucas screamed. Run! But she couldn't. Her legs wouldn't listen. The creeper reached behind its back. Mia braced, expecting a knife, a bone shard, something. Instead, it pulled out something small. A strip of fabric. Torn. Dirty. Her fabric. It was from her jacket, ripped when she tripped inside the church. The creeper lifted the fabric slowly to its face and inhaled deeply, trembling with something like hunger. Mia's heart stopped for half a beat. It chose me. Her stomach turned cold, heavy. She felt herself sway, dizzy with terror. Lucas threw open the car door. Hey! Over here. He grabbed an old metal sign from the ground and banged it against the hood. Leave her alone. The creeper didn't even glance at him. It took another step toward Mia. Asha scrambled out of the car, sobbing, flashlight shaking in her hand. She pointed it at the creeper. And the flashlight flickered. Died. Everything went black. Asha screamed. Mia felt something warm dribble from her nose. She wiped it. Blood. Her nose was bleeding. Her heartbeat thundered irregularly, erratic, painful. Mia. Lucas grabbed her shoulders and yanked her backward just as the creeper lunged. Its claws scraped the ground where she had stood a split second earlier. They ran. The creeper didn't roar. Didn't scream. It just exhaled, a long, disappointed sigh. It walked after them instead of giving chase. Slow. Measured. Confident. It wasn't rushing. It didn't have to. They dove back into the car and slammed the doors. Mia fell into the back seat, gasping, clutching her chest as sharp pain carved through her ribs. Mia, what's happening? Asha grabbed her hand. I don't know, Mia's voice cracked. It looked at me and, something inside me felt, wrong. Lucas twisted the key, and the engine rumbled alive. The creeper reached the edge of the parking lot. Its wings unfurled with a leathery snap. No, 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 drive. Asha shrieked. Lucas floored it. The car shot forward just as the creeper leapt into the air, wings beating once, powerfully, sending a gust of wind that rocked the car sideways. Mia screamed. The monster soared above them like a shadow. Not attacking. Not rushing. Following. Watching. Claiming. Her chest seared again. She curled in on herself, shaking violently. Lucas stared at her through the rearview mirror, white as bone. Mia. I think it marked you. The creeper swooped behind them, its silhouette enormous against the rising moon. Its humming began again. Low. Hungry. Possessive. And Mia finally understood. It wasn't hunting all of them anymore. It just wanted her. The road twisted through endless fields, the car rattling as Lucas pushed it far beyond what the old engine was meant to handle. The world outside had gone eerily quiet, no cars, no birds, no wind. Just the rumbling of the engine and Mia's ragged breathing. Asha kept glancing back through the rear window, tears streaking down her face. I don't see it. I don't, wait. She flinched so violently she hit her head on the glass. Mia forced herself upright despite the stabbing pain under her ribs. Asha, what? Asha didn't answer. She just pointed. At first Mia saw nothing but the empty sky stretching over the darkening fields. Then her eyes caught movement, small at first, just a shifting shape blending with the horizon. Then it grew. Turned. A silhouette, wings spread, gliding silently in the sky directly behind them. The creeper. It wasn't flapping. It wasn't rushing. It was drifting, like a vulture that already knew exactly when its prey would collapse. Lucas swore under his breath. How is it still following us? How? It marked me, Mia whispered. It doesn't matter how far we drive, it's not going to stop. The pain in her chest surged again, sharp and twisting, like talons pressing against her sternum from the inside. She gasped and doubled over. Mia. Asha grabbed her shoulders. What's happening? I don't know, Mia choked. It feels like something is inside me, like it's pulling me toward it. Lucas's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. We need help. There's a sheriff station 20 minutes away. If we can get to people. People won't stop it, Mia whispered. The truth tasted like blood. Asha finally spoke, her voice barely a breath. My grandmother told stories, old ones, about creatures that hunted every 23rd spring, things that took what they needed from people. She swallowed hard. She said when it chose someone, that was it. Nothing could unchoose you. Mia pressed her palm to her forehead, trembling. The world blurred in front of her. Her heartbeat wasn't her own anymore, it was too slow, too heavy, too deliberate. Thump, thump, thump. Not human. As if something else was syncing with it. Matching its rhythm. Lucas took a sharp turn, and the car fishtailed. I don't care what legends say, we're getting somewhere populated, and we're going to fight this thing. Mia lifted her head slowly. Through the rear window, the creeper swooped downward, lowering itself closer to the car. She could see the moonlight gleaming off its patchwork skin, its limbs unnaturally long, its wings broad enough to block the sky. And its eyes. Red. Unblinking. Focused entirely on her. Mia. Asha whispered. You're staring at it. Mia didn't look away. She couldn't. She felt like she was falling into those eyes, like they were reaching into her mind, peeling back layers of fear and memory until only instinct remained. Her breath hitched. It's talking. Lucas jerked the wheel. What? I can hear it, Mia's voice trembled. Not in words. In images. Her eyes glazed over. A room, stone walls, chains, screaming, oh God. Mia. Asha shook her, panic rising. Stop. Don't look at it. Mia snapped her gaze away, gasping, clutching her chest as fire spread under her ribs. Everything spun. And then. Something slammed into the roof. The car lurched violently. Metal dented above Mia's head. Lucas screamed and fought the wheel. The creeper was on the roof again, its weight crushing the frame, its claws dragging slow, deliberate lines through the metal. Asha sobbed, curling into the seat. We're going to die, we're going to die. No. Lucas yelled. Seatbelts on. The creeper shifted its weight. A crack appeared in the roof. A claw punched through, slicing the air inches above Mia's face. Mia stared at the claw, long, curved, coated in dried, cracked blood. And her chest throbbed in response. Like her body recognized it. No, she whispered. No, no. Lucas swerved hard, screeching. Off the road and onto a dirt path. The sudden impact sent the creeper sliding off the roof, tumbling across the ground. Hold on. Lucas shouted. He rammed the gas. The tires tore through dirt and debris until they burst into a wide field. The creeper stood slowly in the distance, wings unfurling like a grotesque shadow rising from the earth. It didn't chase. It just stared at them. And pointed at Mia. Her blood turned to ice. Mia, Asha whispered, voice shaking. Why is it pointing? Mia's voice cracked. Because it wants me. The creeper tilted its head slowly, almost gently. Then with a single monstrous beat of its wings. It launched into the air again. Lucas's voice cracked. Hang on, this isn't over. A low hum vibrated through the sky. The monster was coming back. Faster than before. More focused. More determined. And this time. It wasn't playing. The sky was a smear of black and bruised purple as Lucas sped across the open field, bumping violently over rocks and trenches. Mia clung to the back seat, her breath coming in jagged pulls. Every jolt of the car sent pain tearing through her chest, as if her ribs were straining against something inside her. Asha cried out, gripping the door handle. "Lucas, we can't outrun it. We need to hide. We're in a field." Lucas yelled, voice cracking. "There's nowhere to hide." Before Mia could speak, the air above the car darkened. A shadow fell over them. A massive, winged silhouette glided low across the sky, circling like a vulture marking its prey. Mia pressed her trembling hand against the window, watching the creeper's outline drift with unnatural grace. "It's watching us. It's calculating." The creeper wasn't mindless. It wasn't chaotic. It was choosing. And Mia felt the mark inside her, like a cold fingerprint pressed against her heart, throb violently. Lucas jerked the car toward a narrow dirt road leading into the woods. Branches slapped the windows as the headlights cut through the darkness. "Lucas, slow down, we're gonna crash." Asha screamed. "If I slow down, we're dead." A sudden slam shook the car. The creeper had landed on the trunk. Metal crunched inward. The weight of it dragged the car backward. Lucas floored the gas, the engine roared in agony. Mia couldn't breathe. The creeper's claws punched through the trunk metal, inches from Asha's head. She shrieked and ducked, covering her face. Lucas swerved violently. The creeper slid but held on, its claws carving long, horrific lines through the metal. Mia felt it, felt the beast's hunger crawling inside her skin. The throbbing in her chest synced with the monster's claws like a heartbeat. "Lucas, stop!" Mia shouted suddenly. "Are you insane?" Lucas screamed. "It wants me." Mia cried. "It's going to rip the car apart to get me, just stop." Lucas shook his head, tears in his eyes. "I'm not handing you over." "You don't have a choice," Mia whispered. The creeper growled, a deep, guttural rumble that vibrated through the entire car. Then it lunged forward, claws stabbing through the back seat. The metal tore open. Mia screamed. One long claw slid inches from her leg, twitching, sniffing, searching. The creeper's hand gripped the torn metal, peeling it back like paper. "Mia!" Asha screamed. "Move!" Lucas twisted the wheel sharply. The car smashed through a fallen tree, jolting the creeper violently. It slipped, wings flailing, and tumbled across the dirt road. Lucas hit the gas again. But the car was dying, steam rising from the hood, engine coughing like a dying animal. "We're not gonna make it," Lucas whispered. Ahead of them, the forest thickened into a wall of tangled trees and shadow. Mia forced her aching body forward, gripping his shoulder. "Lucas, stop the car." "No, Mia. Stop it." Her voice cracked, breaking in half. Lucas finally slammed the brakes. The car skidded sideways and came to a shaking halt. Asha curled against the window, sobbing. "Please, please don't leave us, please don't go." Mia reached for her hand, squeezing tightly. "I'm not leaving you. But I can't let it kill you both. I'm marked. I can feel it." It wasn't fear anymore. It was certainty. Her chest burned like fire. The throbbing under her ribs was stronger now. She felt dizzy, feverish, like something inside her pulsed in time with a distant heartbeat, its heartbeat. Lucas grabbed her wrist. "There has to be another way. We can fight." "You can't fight something that doesn't die," Mia whispered. "And you can't run from something that can smell your blood across miles." A rustle of wings echoed through the trees behind them. Large wings. Getting closer. Mia stepped out of the car. "Mia!" Lucas lunged after her, but she slammed the door between them. She walked forward, into the dirt road, her legs trembling. The forest fell silent. Even the wind stopped. A shape rose from the trees, huge, hunched, monstrous. The creeper's glowing eyes emerged first, then its face, stitched together from old skin. Its wings folded behind it. It stepped into the road. Not rushing. Not attacking. Just watching her. Mia's breath shook. Why me? The creeper tilted its head slowly, as if studying her question. Then. It raised one clawed finger. Pointed directly at her heart. Mia staggered back. Her chest tightened. Pain exploded through her, sharp, blinding, unbearable. She fell to her knees, hands clawing at the dirt. Lucas pounded on the car window. Mia. No. Asha screamed so loud her voice broke. The creeper watched her writhe, unmoving. Her heartbeat slowed. Changed. Deepened. And she knew the truth. It didn't just want her. It needed something inside her. Something it intended to take. Alive. The creeper's wings spread wide. It stepped toward her. And Mia finally understood what being marked truly meant. She wasn't chosen to die. She was chosen to be kept. The forest swallowed all light as Mia collapsed to her knees, clutching her chest. Every heartbeat felt wrong, slow, heavy, echoing through her ribs as if something else were beating inside her. The creeper stepped closer. Its talons clicked against the dirt in a slow, rhythmic pattern, almost like it was savoring every second before reaching her. Its red eyes glowed with a hunger that had nothing to do with food. This was something deeper. Personal. Ancient. Mia. Lucas burst from the car, sprinting toward her. The creeper moved before the sound of the door even faded. A blur of wings. A flash of claws. A sickening crack as Lucas's body was thrown backwards into a tree. He hit with a hollow thud and slid down, limp. Lucas! Mia screamed, voice ripping from her throat. The creeper didn't even look at him. It looked at her. Asha scrambled out next, running toward Lucas, sobbing hysterically. Lucas, wake up, please, wake up. Mia tried to crawl backward, but her limbs were too weak. The pain inside her chest pulsed again, spreading through her ribcage like something was swelling beneath her heart. The creeper crouched low in front of her. Close enough for her to see every rotten seam in its skin. Its breath washed over her, hot, ripe with decay, and Mia choked, gagging. It lifted one claw, tracing the tip along her cheek, down her jawline, stopping at her throat. She froze. It wasn't cutting. It was, mapping her. Measuring where it would take what it wanted. No, Mia whispered. Please, please don't. The creeper wrapped its clawed hand around the front of her jacket and lifted her off the ground like she weighed nothing. Her legs dangled, kicking helplessly. Asha's scream tore through the forest. Put her down. The creeper's head snapped toward Asha. In one motion, it hurled a jagged bone spear. The weapon ripped past Asha's shoulder, embedding into a tree with enough force to crack the trunk. She fell backward, shaking violently, frozen. With terror. The creeper turned back to Mia. And began walking. Not toward the car. Not toward the road. But deeper into the woods. Stop. Please. Mia clawed at its arm, kicking wildly. Asha. Asha struggled to her feet and ran after them, screaming Mia's name over and over, voice breaking into raw, shredded sobs. But the creeper didn't slow. Its wings wrapped around Mia's body like a cage of leathery bone and sinew. The world outside muffled, Asha's screams, the wind, the night, all fading as darkness closed around her. The woods grew colder, older. Minutes passed. Or hours. Mia couldn't tell. Her chest burned worse with every step. The throbbing under her ribs pulsed like a timer counting down. Thump. 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 Finally, the creeper stepped into a clearing. An ancient stone structure loomed ahead, half-buried, vine-choked, forgotten by humans. A sunken entrance yawned open, exhaling a draft of air so cold Mia's breath fogged instantly. The creeper carried her inside. The darkness swallowed her whole. It set her down gently, too gently, on a slab of cracked stone. Chains rattled from the walls, old iron smeared with dried brown stains. Mia's breath shook as she realized she wasn't the first person to lie here. Torches flickered to life along the walls. And Mia saw them. Bodies. Hundreds of them. Some decayed. Some dried to parchment skin. Some disturbingly fresh. All hung like grotesque trophies along the cavern walls. A museum of stolen flesh. Mia's stomach lurched violently. She rolled to her side and vomited, tears streaming down her face. The creeper approached a wall at the far end of the chamber, worn stone etched with carvings of winged creatures, human captives, and symbols older than any language she recognized. It tapped a single symbol with its claw. A circle. Inside it. A heart. Its heart. Or hers. No, Mia whispered, shaking her head. No, please, please, stop. The creeper turned back to her. For the first time. It smiled. A jagged, unnatural smile that split its patchwork face in half. Then it placed one clawed finger gently on the center of her chest, right above the spot that pulsed with fire. The throbbing inside her synced perfectly with the touch. Thump, thump. Thump. Pain exploded through her body. She arched off the stone slab, screaming, her vision shattering into static and red. Her heart wasn't beating right. It wasn't beating for her anymore. The creeper leaned close, its mouth hovering inches from her ear. It breathed one single wordless sound. A rumbling click deep in its throat. A sound of possession. A sound of claiming. Mia's vision blurred. Her screams faded. The last thing she saw before darkness swallowed her were the red eyes watching her lose consciousness. Hungry. Patient. Satisfied. Because the creeper hadn't brought her here to kill her. It brought her here to keep her alive. For what came next? Mia woke to the sound of breathing. Not her own. Not human. A slow, guttural draw, followed by an exhale that vibrated through the cold, dark earth around her. It took her several seconds to understand where she was. She wasn't in the church ruins. She wasn't in the tunnels. She wasn't even above ground. She was lying inside a stone chamber, an ancient burial vault, its walls carved with claw marks so deep they looked like they had been gouged with blades. Her heart lurched. He dragged me down here. A sound echoed behind her, a wet step, followed by the soft scrape of something dragging across the stone. Mia forced herself to turn, and froze. The creeper was perched in the corner like a grotesque gargoyle, its wings partially spread, its mildewed skin slick with dark blood, her friend's blood. One of its eyes was missing, and in its place pulsed a new one, growing, knitting itself from raw tissue. It stared at her as its jaw slowly unhinged, widening into a smile that wasn't a smile, just the anticipation of consumption. Mia's scream never left her throat. She pushed her back against the far wall, hands trembling, searching for a way out. The creeper inhaled deeply, savoring her panic. Then it spoke. Not with words. With memories. Visions exploded into her mind, thousands of years of feeding, centuries of rising from sleep, endless cycles of terror. She saw tribes sacrificing their own people to keep it dormant. She saw the church being built not to worship, but to contain. She saw generation after generation failing to destroy it. Every death fed it. Every scream strengthened it. Every sacrifice kept it alive. And then she understood. The creeper didn't kill to survive. It survived to kill. Her breath came in sharp bursts. Why me? She whispered, unable to stop herself. A low rumble vibrated from its chest as it crawled closer, head tilting, nostrils flaring. It tapped its claw against the stone floor, once, twice, 3 times, like it was choosing which part of her to savor first. Mia grabbed a shard of broken stone next to her. It was too small to matter, but it was all she had. The creeper leaned close, sniffing her hair, tasting the air near her neck. Its wings tightened, ready to envelop her. She thrust the stone into its eye. The creature reeled back and shrieked, an ear-splitting sound that shook the entire crypt. Dust rained from above as Mia scrambled to her feet. She sprinted down a narrow corridor, hearing the thunder of its wings slamming against the tight stone walls, its claws scraping, its breath rattling like an animal driven into frenzy. She reached a staircase and climbed, her legs trembling, lungs burning. Behind her, the creeper forced its massive body into the passage, bones cracking as it folded itself unnaturally, tearing chunks of rock away as it crawled after her. Light. A faint one, at the end of the stairwell. She ran toward it, praying, sobbing, barely able to stay conscious. She burst through a rotten wooden door and collapsed onto dirt. She was back in the church, what was left of it. The roof had collapsed. The walls were half buried. The sky was a black, swirling storm, lightning flashing like veins tearing open the night. And she wasn't alone. In the clearing, half buried in the ruins, stood the old stone altar, the one she and her friends had touched on the first night. She could feel it humming, vibrating like a heartbeat. Realization struck her. The altar wasn't a relic. It was a seal. The creeper burst from the door beneath her, wings unfurling with a sickening crack. It rose over her like a nightmare made flesh, drooling, shrieking, ready to claim its final prey. Mia didn't run. She ran toward the altar. The creeper lunged. She reached the stone. She slammed both palms on it. A blast of ancient energy tore through the air like a storm of screams. The creeper staggered, its body convulsing, wings burning with ghostly fire. It howled as the ground beneath them split open, pulling everything toward the abyss. Mia, a voice whispered, not a human one, not a comforting one, something older, deeper, carved from ancient darkness. A sacrifice must be made. Mia's tears streamed down her face. She stepped back. She looked at the creeper. And she jumped into the abyss, dragging the monster with her. The world exploded into darkness. The earth sealed shut. Silence returned. Months later, a young boy stood beside the ruined church. The wind was still. The ground was cold. Something tapped beneath the soil. Tap. 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 A heartbeat. Not Mia's. The creeper's. The terror never died. It only waited. The end.